the government put out some truth mixed with falsehood, but they give the people the challenge, like when they make the assertion, oh, it was this happened and it was that happened, right? And the people follow that line, okay, but they give them the anecdote to their people, the counter argument. Some of what they say, tell them is the truth. And some of what they say, they have a big opening. One of the things was about the destruction of the building. It had some, not graphite, but some thing with iron in it, that it burns. And that was true. Because the building, I was in Tehran.
Thermite? What's it called? Thermite. Yeah,
Is it
thermite.
thermite?
Because I think they use that in controlled demolitions.
Controlled demolition.
To cut through steel,
Okay.
from what I can remember.
Well, one thing about it, this controlled demolition, that part is
Right,
no
right,
doubt
yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
The building don't fall over, it don't do nothing. It comes straight down,
Yeah.
both of them. And what about the other building, 44 or something?
7.
Building 7.
Right. Nothing hits.
Nothing hit it, it just come down, okay? So, okay, we got a lot to go with, so they got to build up, they got to get their story out there. The first thing was, a few of the people was from Saudi Arabia, but not 15 of them from Saudi Arabia. And the only place people could leave America and go back to, that was Saudi Arabia. Okay. They took money from people from Iranian accounts and gave it to 9/11 people accounts. They never show those 9/11 people. They don't show those Flight 800 people. You remember Flight 800? That missile hit that boy in Egyptian air.
Right.
Hey man, they done had too many things. And pretty soon they get real quiet and they get squashed. Okay. I'm not going to go into Alex Jones, but Alex Jones is just a big buffoon, and he's a straw man to set up that they get to beat him to death and break him down, and they can destroy half the stuff he said. The mind control is true. The mind control is true, but it's mixed in with all that other stuff. All they got to do is debunk 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 things, and it debunks everything else. That's why we've always been cautious. No matter how extravagant we sound, we always go back to the paper and say, this is what we said. You can't take us farther than what we wanted to go. And science fiction management, we waited 10 years before we even said anything about it, but this is the way we felt all the time. But we had to wait to history to catch up. Why? Because we're not going to give you the opportunity to debunk nothing we say. You see what I mean? That's very important. That they don't get a chance to debunk nothing we say. And anything that they say, we got 500 or 600 things in reserve, and we'll throw 10 of them out and say, what you think about that then, if you're so bad? And then anything else they say, we're going to, so we keep in reserve over history, over time. It's just built up a reserve, but I'm going to pick up a little bit. Control the airways. We ain't going to go into Professor Griff, Black Lives Matters and all of that. But we believe 90% of this stuff is stage managed. Society is managed. And the whole thing, and we'll talk about it later on the next go-round, is to get out and vote. Are there any questions, any comments about anything that we said? But our next program will repeat things like focus on the future, our property, what what we're gonna say to our friends. FBI records mean, freedom of information and all of that. Not only freedom of information with the FBI, with the city, the county, and our property all along MacArthur Boulevard, we're going to bring all of that up too. In other words, we're going to popularize the things that's been happening in the world, and we'll close with the drug war on white folks, opiates, and what have you. Because see, we got the white folks now too. With the Second Amendment and with opiates, it's clear, like, oh, so you're mad at us? You think well, how many factories did we send overseas? Find me a factory that niggas sent overseas to China. Who sent them to China? And then you got Don there, you like Don. I'm not gonna call y'all stupid, but Don is from a different class than y'all. Don got 51 cases in the court, at least had. And all of them were by white men like you guys, wealthier than most of them. Like they were, say, millionaire contractors, but not big millionaires. They had a good construction company. Don had to hook this up, and they hook it up, and then Don don't pay them. They go to court. So they owe Don owe them $20 million. So I'll give you 3 or 4. That won't even cover our costs. Even we had Polish workers paying them $4 an hour, something like that. Can you imagine? They talk about exploitation, and they got white folks, they paying $5 an hour in maritime. That means all of them are sleeping in one room together, and only 1 pot of beans per day finished. And Don won't pay them. That's brutality. We have to tell white folks that, because the other news is letting Alex Jones and them tell it to white folks. And they sprinkle in salt and pepper and all that garbage in there. We ain't gonna have it. We got a good mission. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions?
A few brothers gave the salams on today's lecture, but there was some new comments on the...
Some who?
Some new comments on the lecture from Sunday. Hold on, let's see. Brother asked, or brother said, hold on, give me 1 second here. Hold this up. This is the brother that was asking you about the China questions and stuff. He had said after we had finished class, I saw this later, he said, Musa, we go way back, met you through Doc, 1964.
Good God Almighty.
He said you was a vegetarian then and love your blues music.
That's right.
My brother and Doc came and got you from the joint, I guess is what he meant to say. Last time I saw you at UCLA, my brother Wallace has returned to Imam.
Yeah. That's
Amir Rashad, that's his name.
Yeah.
He converted to, he was saying that his brother converted to Islam and he gave him a Muslim burial. He said, I met your father who brought me to your house in 1970. He said, we talk later. I guess he'll reach out maybe at some point.
Yeah.
But I saw that one.
Yeah, shoot, that's the old crew there. That's Wallace now. Man, that's back in the day. I mean, way back in the day.
Right, yeah, I saw that date.
Is there anything else?
I mean, nothing else new with Khadijah, but...
Oh, Khadijah was fine. It's not that they don't count, but they don't count, I mean, in reality. But It's good to have them around just to, they're not gonna affect anything. They don't affect anything we do. And you might want a little excitement. And, you know, there's one thing I'd like to mention about this stuff. One of the reasons we keep certain things around, let's call it self-stimulation. Like, for instance, if the boss man is not doing anything to us in particular, right? So that means you might get a little, it's like you don't have a fight coming up, you know. But if you have little tune-up fights all the time, you stay on your job. You know, you stay sharp, in other words. Okay, the other thing too is the people that's doing things to you, they don't get bigger. Like you lifting weights, I think I used that last week.
Right.
They stacking weights on the bar. You lifting them, you getting stronger. They're just putting weights on. They're just doing things, putting weights. Now, you lift it and lift it. And when you can't, you just go up as far as you can, set it down, go up. Pretty soon, you get stronger. No matter what you do, those actions cause you to get stronger and stronger. They don't. They don't get sharper and they don't get stronger. They're working for the government. And anybody that tells you about government, you might get 35 years of experience. But a government worker gets 1 year of experience 35 times.
That's actually what they say in amongst us software engineers. Like in the startup world, when people see government workers, like, nah, we don't want, because they know, like, the mindset of the software engineer that comes out of the government is, you know, you're not going to be quite as sharp as someone
You're
who
not
comes from
going
private
to be,
industry.
you just, because
That's real. Yeah.
it's not, and it's like, you do what you're told. You're not juiced up, you know what I mean? You're not fired up, you know what I mean? And you almost can't fire yourself up.
Yeah.
That's the people we gotta help. That's the main one we gotta help. We gotta help them. There's whole classes of people we have to help. That's what's making us different from all the other movements. And with Allah's help, that's why we're still here now. Because we didn't go bad. We didn't go bad. We didn't go bitter. We didn't go, you know, we didn't go south. That's a healing. People don't do that. They go south, they get depressed, they quit, they do something. But they don't keep doing it. They don't keep doing this. There's nobody on record that I know of, right, that keeps just cranking it out like we do. They don't do that. So that's a blessing. Are there any more questions or comments? Okay, if not, alhamdulillah. But we'll come back in a few days. I don't know whether we should